Please join me in welcoming an 18-year-old with roots of Scotland and India who has been part of the Fortis education community since age 7. A passionate public speaker, F1 enthusiast, and the organizer of last year's TEDx event. A natural leader on and off the field, he shares his enduring love for Formula One and what it teaches us about pushing beyond the limits. Please join me in welcoming Joshua McGregor.
Hello everyone, it's great to be back on the TEDx stage after hosting and organizing last year's event. And I'm back here doing something that I love, talking about something that makes my heart race. When I heard about this year's theme, Beyond the Surface, it immediately came to my mind of the topic that I wanted to talk about. Something I have a deep, deep passion for. Formula One. Yes, that sport which isn't as mainstream or as popular as football or other sports, but in my opinion, it's faster, it's louder, and it's far more fascinating. So I have a question for you all. Why do we love sports? Is it the action, the athletes, the adrenaline? Or is it the triumph, the heartbreak, the drama? Because in my opinion, sport reveals character. To be truly successful in sports, you have to be resilient, you have to work well as a team, you have to show grit, and to go truly beyond the surface. Sport shows us what we're really made of. I always grew up with sports. I did football, swimming, basketball, golf, and I competed in go-karting for a number of years. But Formula One, that's always been a part of me. It's something different. I didn't just watch a sport, I grew up with it. So let me take you on a quick lap to show you how Formula One transformed into the global cultural phenomenon that it is today. Some of you may know the legends: Senna, Schumacher, Prost. This was the golden age of Formula One. It had everything: the drama, the icons, the technology, but strangely, it didn't really have the global audience that it has today. F1 felt distant, exclusive, expensive, out of reach, and it lacked accessibility. It had a big, big problem. Its fan base, aging, and its visibility, fading. But to talk about the history of Formula One, we do have to mention one man, Bernie Ecclestone, founder and the CEO of the Formula One Group between 1987 and 2017. Often dubbed the F1 Supremo, Bernie was a master negotiator who struck billion-dollar deals and sponsorships for Formula One, as well as taking Formula One to glamorous locations like Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Bahrain, and others. But in building that incredible Formula One spectacle, he built some walls. If you weren't in the inner F1 circle, you were left out. F1 was hidden behind paywalls, cable TV deals, and private paddocks. This era of Formula One had all the speed, but none of the connection. But then, that all changed. In 2017, a company called Liberty Media took over from Ecclestone, and with that, brand new logo, brand new vision, brand new goal, to get more fans into the sport, particularly the younger audience. They didn't just want fans to watch the sport, they wanted fans to feel. It was less about the cars now, and more about the storytelling, less about the raw speed, and more about the characters. And then, in 2018, to push the promotion of the new season, F1 launched an advertisement called Engineer Insanity, where they featured a bunch of superfans from across the globe, including myself.
I saw there was a driver called Lewis Hamilton, and I really liked him a lot. That's how I got into it. Formula One is about speed, skill, and strategy. Anything can happen. I don't know how they did it.
Okay, so it was at that moment where everything changed for me. I wasn't just a fan anymore. I felt part of the sport, part of the change, part of the transformation that was taking Formula One beyond the surface. But then came F1's real game changer, Drive to Survive. This Netflix documentary series, released in 2018, has been being produced every year since completely changed the way the average person would see the sport. It was less about the racing now and more about the raw emotion, the ambition of the drivers, the rivalries, and the heartbreaks. The Formula One grid wasn't just a list of drivers anymore. It was a cast of characters. People who had never watched a race in their lives were now binge-watching the show to see all the behind-the-scenes drama. People were emotionally investing in certain drivers, certain teams, and when people are emotionally invested, they follow, they post, they tweet, they show up, they watch races, they go to Grand Prix. And that's one thing every brand, every business, every institution, even other sports can learn from Formula One's rise, is that connection with the fans always beats complexity. But another thing Formula One did was the digital revolution. Before Liberty Media, F1 was practically invisible online. No memes, no viral moments, no online engagement, not even race highlights. But now, it's everywhere you look. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Drivers aren't just drivers anymore. They're personalities. One day they're racing at 300 kilometers an hour, but the next, they're interacting with fans online. This wasn't just about F1 catching up to the digital age. It was about redefining how a sport can take advantage of today's society and appeal to the younger audience. So what's next for F1? What is the future? Where is it headed? Well, let's talk about sustainability. First of all, Formula One has a goal to be net zero carbon by 2030. They're also pushing for synthetic fuels, hybrid engines, and smarter logistics in order to reduce the amount of carbon emissions. Pirelli, which is F1's tire supplier, their research and development, as well as the engine development, translates to the cars that we'll be driving tomorrow. It doesn't just affect the racing, it affects our road cars. The global expansion of Formula One is also increasing year on year, with more races in the United States, Middle East, Asia, and even a race in Africa. And in my IB Extended essay that I recently submitted, I looked into the economic impact of a race being hosted in a country. And the results, they were staggering. Tourism boosts, infrastructure investments, local businesses surging, and most importantly, global attention. Cities like Baku, Jeddah were completely transformed by the races that they hosted. But not only that, the racing is evolving as well. Competition is becoming fairer, closer, more entertaining, especially with the introduction of the budget cap and the aerodynamic regulations, which is making Formula One more unpredictable. It's less about the money you can just throw at the sport and more about the genius and the design behind the cars. But beneath all the spectacle and the incredible speed of Formula One, unfortunately, there lies a hard truth. The journey of a young kid like me who absolutely loves racing, starts off in go-karts, makes their way up the junior ladder, up to Formula One. That journey can cost up to $10 million. That's not a career path. That's a dream hidden behind the paywall. In other sports like football, athletics, practically anything you can name, talent can arise from the street, arise from the fields, the school playgrounds. But in Formula One, that's not really the case. Pay drivers, as what they're known as, the ones that come from wealthy families, rich backgrounds, they're the ones that get the opportunities compared to the more talented drivers who don't necessarily have the funds. And that's one of Formula One's biggest issues at the moment. But to its credit, motorsports, Formula One across the world are trying to do its job to help rectify the issue. Scholarships, driver programs that run into the younger years, and diversity initiatives to help more women get into racing. But finally, to reflect, I was just a kid who featured in that F1 advertisement, and now in a couple months' time, I'm going to be going to university and studying mechanical engineering to hopefully be part of the Formula One industry. I don't want to just watch F1. I want to build it. I want to be part of the industry, making a faster sport, yes, but also a more efficient one, fairer, more entertaining, more drama, more human, most of all. And I think Formula One has been a blueprint for how such an elite system can open up, how something so exclusive can appeal to the younger audience. And if you were to take one thing from today, I want want you all to consider something, whether that be a hobby like mine, my passion, your own passion, your job, even school. Ask yourself, what lies beyond the surface? But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, what's your Formula One? Thank you.